Are you working on an Angular project and wondering how to dynamically change the locale for the DatePipe? You're not alone. This is a common challenge for developers who want to create a multilingual experience. I totally get it. Switching languages in an application can be tricky, especially when it comes to formatting dates correctly. It can feel overwhelming, but don't worry, we will figure this out together. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, is it possible to make the locale dynamic in Angular for the DatePipe? They mentioned trying to set it in the ng module, but were unsure if that was the right approach. Sound familiar? Let's dive into this. So what's the deal with Angular and locales? By default, Angular uses the locale set in the ng module, but it doesn't allow for dynamic changes at runtime. However, there are ways to work around this limitation, and I'll show you how. And stick around, I have a fantastic solution at the end that will make your application truly dynamic and user-friendly. To dynamically change the locale for the DatePipe in Angular, the user should first import the necessary locale data. This can be done by importing the locale data from Angular's common package. Next, the user needs to register the locale data. This allows Angular to recognize the new locales that will be used in the application. Now, the user should create a service that will handle the locale switching. This service will allow the application to change the locale dynamically based on user input. After creating the service, the user should implement the logic to change the locale in the application. This involves updating the locale in the Angular injector. Finally, the user can create a method to switch locales based on user selection. This method will call the changeLocale function in the service. Fun fact, the DatePipe in Angular is a powerful tool, but it can be a bit stubborn when it comes to changing locales. Think of it like a cat. Once it gets comfortable, it doesn't want to move. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach involves creating a locale service. This service allows you to set and get the locale dynamically. You can register different cultures like English or Chinese by using the register culture method. In your app.module.ts, import the necessary locale data and provide the locale ID using the locale service. This setup allows your application to respond to locale changes dynamically. To change the locale dynamically, simply inject the locale service into your component and call the register culture method with the desired culture. Let's move forward and look at another answer. An alternative approach shared by another user involves dynamically importing locale data for the DatePipe in Angular. This method enhances bundling efficiency by using lazy loading. Key points include configuring locale ID in the app module, using a localization service, and registering locale data globally. The user also highlights the importance of setting the module type to snext in tsconfig.json. To further optimize, the user suggests using Webpack magic comments to limit the locales loaded, ensuring only necessary data is included. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. An alternative solution shared by another user involves using a library called Angular Dynamic Locale. This library allows you to change the locale ID dynamically without needing to reload your Angular application. Let's move forward and look at another answer. An alternative solution provided by another user involves dynamically loading locale data for the DatePipe. They suggest using a function called loadLocales that imports the necessary locale data based on the locale ID. To call this function in a component, you can simply use loadLocales with the desired locale, like DE for German. Additionally, you need to register the locale data in your providers. Finally, to use the dynamic locale in your template, reference the culture variable in your DatePipe, ensuring it reflects the current locale setting. Here's the pro tip. Always ensure that your locale data is loaded before you attempt to use it in your application. This will prevent any unexpected errors. And there you have it. You can now dynamically change the locale for the DatePipe in your Angular application. Remember, creating a multilingual experience can greatly enhance user satisfaction. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button for more tips and keep coding.